Hey there. So if you're in the baking business, trying to calculate how much should you sell your products for is always a little tricky. So I've made this great recipe calculator so that you can track your cost of your goods and how much to sell it for. So this is available in Google Sheets and Excel, and let's get started. So I've got two different versions of this recipe calculator, one that's a little bit more complicated and one that's easier. So let's start with the easy one so you can get an idea of how it works. So this is on this sheet, there's multiple different tabs. This is the version 2 recipe calculator. So essentially what you're going to do, so say if we're going to make chocolate chip cookies, we can put that at the top of our recipe name. And then we're going to figure out the total cost of how much does it cost to make cookies. So we've got things like flour and sugar and butter. We'll just start there. Let's figure out how much you're going to need. So say you're going to need 3 cups of flour. And the total package is going to be costing you, say it costs you $3.50 for that. Then you're going to figure out, okay, how many cups are in my entire bag of flour. So your cost is $3.50 for the whole package, but you have a 4-pound bag of flour. But you need to figure out how many cups are in that 4-pound bag. So you will have to go to Google and essentially ask how many cups of flour are there in a 4-pound bag. So let's just go to the drop down box and we'll choose cups. And then I have Googled that it's 18.5 cups of flour in a full package. So this will do the math for you to tell you that if you only need 3 cups and the full package is 18 and a half, it'll tell you the cost. Okay, so let's go to the sugar next. I know that I'm going to need cups and say that I need 1.5 cups of sugar, and the total package costs me $2.58. I'm just guessing. And then, so I'm going to Google, okay, how many cups are in a full package of my 4-pound bag of sugar. And Google is telling me that there's 8 to 9 cups. So let's just say there are 9 cups of sugar in my 4-pound bag of sugar. And so it's going to give me the total cost. And you're going to go through this the whole way. Again, we'll do this 2 tablespoons. I'm going to need 8 tablespoons of butter. The full package is going to cost me $3.50. And then how many tablespoons of butter are in the full package. So let's just say 16. So it'll give you the total cost and go through all the way down. Now, when you do this, and if you have it blank, make sure that your full package quantity, if there's any other blanks on the sheet, that it always says 1, because otherwise you'll get that error message of divide by 0 and it gets confused. So just keep it at 1 for anything that's blank. And then it will tell you the total cost of, your recipe is $2.75. It's a little bit more, but just to save on time, we're just moving on. So let's say it's $2.75. Okay. And then we also need to figure out how much does it cost to prepare the cookies itself. So planning, say you're going to want to, give yourself an hourly rate of $18, and then it's going to take you, 0.25 hours to plan, 0.25 hours to prepare. How long is it taking you to bake it? If you're, hiring someone to help you do this, this will help you to figure that out as well. To go, okay, it's costing me, I have to pay someone to help bake my products, and it costs $4.50 per recipe. Decorating time as well. And if there's anything else that you wanted to add in here, you can rename this. So just delete this out, and whatever else you wanted to add in there is fine. Packaging, so say that your box, ribbons and things like that. So say that's $5. This will add up everything here for your total cost. And then delivery, let's say you're going to do, it's going to be 10 miles. And then cents per mile, I think the current rate is 72 cents a mile. You might look that up just to make sure. So, and then we've got the ingredients were $2.75. Preparation was $23. So that was making it. and then delivery was $7.20. Grand total of $32.95 that cost you to make the whole recipe. And then we are going to say, okay, let's put in a number here. What do we want to sell the batch for? And let's just say it's going to be $65. So if you sold it for $65, it cost you $32.95. Your profit is $32, and your profit margin is $49. So that way you can get an idea for, if you want your profit margin to be around 50%. Do you want it to be 100%? Sell it for a lot more. So that's essentially what you would need to do for it to work. And then if you wanted to make a copy, so say this is your, chocolate cookies, chip cookie recipe. So that's chocolate chip cookies. You can also click on the drop down arrow, and then we're going to hit duplicate. We've got the duplicate there, and then we're going to take this one and do the drop down box again, rename. So we're going to call this the chocolate chip cookie. So that way you know how much your chocolate chip cookies cost. You can do this with anything. You can do this with bread, meals, lasagnas. Like, you can do this with all sorts of things to figure out your cost and how much to sell it for. It doesn't have to just be baking goods. I also have another version here. So this is the main recipe calculator, and this is has an extra step to it. So let's come in here and go into the blank recipe calculator. Okay, so if we put in flour, okay, and then it's a 4-pound bag of flour. Cups, so say we're going to need 1.5 cups. The total package was, say, $3.50. We're going to try to convert how many cups we need, and then how many cups are in 4 pounds. So this here in the formula can help us to figure that out. So what we're going to do is go to the measurement conversion chart, and I've got all of these options here. If you're trying to convert pounds to cups, you multiply your number times 3.6287. So we're going to come in here and go back to our chart and make sure that we're multiplying this number here times the 3.6287, and then that will give you how many cups are in the package. So let's try a different one so you can get a better idea. Say if we needed to go from let's go from ounces to teaspoons. So let's go to so let's just say we're doing vanilla extract, and it is so the full package is in ounces. Let's add that in the edit button, and we'll add another item, and we'll call it ounces. Done. Apply to all. Let's go to the drop down box. That's in there too. Ounces. Yes. Okay, so we need teaspoons. So we're probably going to need 1 teaspoon. The total package of our vanilla, say it's $8.50. The full package is going to be in ounces, and it's probably going to say, I say 3.5 ounces. I'm just guessing. So we're going to try to get from ounces to teaspoons. So we're going to go do the drop down box for teaspoon, and we're going to come into here to the conversion chart, and I'm going to look ounces to teaspoons. So we need X times 6. So we need this number times 6, and that will tell you that there's 21 teaspoons in your 3.5 ounce package. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But this is the recipe calculator. This sheet is available at my website at savvyandthriving.com, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.